Welcome to the Young and Naive podcast. I'm your host, Hatham. I'm joined today by my co-host.
This is Tyler.
And we have a guest today, Katharine.
I was going to say.
For fuck's sake. But yeah, Katharine.
Our first guest?
First guest. Congrats.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, today we have a couple of things we're going to talk about. Obviously, it's a different
New
room.
setting.
Yeah, new setting.
room.
Third years and second years, bastards. But yeah, so I have to admit something. Katharine, we got here because you were quite a left-wing kind of person. And I thought...
We're not right wing. We're not right wing.
We're not right wing.
Yeah, I'm not.
But we're reasonably right wing. We're fucked.
But hang on.
I'm not right wing. I'm
doesn't
reasonably right wing.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't
yeah,
speak
yeah.
for both of us.
Well, I'm Muslim, so that kind of
yeah,
makes me-
yeah.
Ah.
So I think the first thing we want to really talk about is Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
You're obviously...
Hot in the news.
Yeah. Obviously, you've shown... what's the word?
A disliking.
Hatred?
A
A dislike.
Hatred.
Yeah.
A hatred.
A hatred or dislike
Stronger
to
word.
him. What do you think about his, what's happening right now? So he got thrown in jail in Romania because of pizza box, so...
No, it wasn't a
rough.
pizza box.
Well,
No, they knew he was in the country.
No, surprisingly...
There's no way.
Surprisingly, you can get in... If you fly private...
I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
too
they
sure.
have tracking.
Because, I mean, he'd been interviewed on Piers Morgan's show, hadn't he? And
Yeah.
that was live, so he would have had to have been out of Romania at points. So
Yeah,
maybe that's
like
how
they
he
know
did it.
where he is. Like, it's not. You know the amount of money you'd have to pay to get into countries like.
I mean, he sounds like he has the money.
Yeah.
I mean...
But I think they knew he was in the country, and the pizza box just confirmed it. I don't. I don't.
It's kind of like evidence to use, okay, he's definitely here, we can raid him. But as someone who's quite left, when you hear some of the outrageous shit he says, what do you feel like? How does it make you feel?
I mean, I think it makes me feel... I mean, the main leading emotion is frustrated. I mean, especially I'm someone who's very much a feminist, and when I see all these young and older boys as well, I know that obviously they're very impressionable when they're younger, but that's not his entire audience, and they're then coming out and they're repeating these things while also then saying that misogyny doesn't exist. It's really frustrating to hear because, I mean, he'll come out with things saying, I'll grab them by... I don't want to
certain parts.
Certain parts.
You can we're not going to censor any of this, so you can say it if you want.
I feel anything you want to say, just say it.
And he comes out with a load of... I'm really trying to censor it still. A load of bullshit about being very misogynistic, being very violent. And especially with him now being thrown in jail, the fact that people are still coming out and defending him as if he didn't show all the signs that this was happening anyways. I mean, I remember only a few months after knowing who Andrew Tate was, so this must have been 6 months ago, I already read about him being investigated for human trafficking, and people still denied it. And even still after the arrest, people are going, in Andrew Tate we trust. And it's clearly just people being completely ignorant and blindsided to the misogyny and how prevalent it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is kind of nuts how you have, somebody in the West especially, obviously, where I'm from, there is misogyny, but it's not really... It depends on the family, really. But, I mean, a lot of it comes down to just maybe his upbringing, I'd say. Or maybe, I mean, he had... I'm not 100% sure, about this side of his history, but... He used to be an MMA fighter, wasn't he?
Kickboxer.
Kickboxer.
World champion kickboxer.
And he had a cam girl kingdom, didn't he?
Yeah, that's how he started after. So he done
Yeah.
kickboxing, I think for a fair few years. Became multi-world champion. Then he got fascinated by the idea of making money because kickboxing pays piss all.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay a lot because you got to pay your management, your trainer. So at the end of it, you really don't make a lot. So he started a cam girl business, I believe, and
I think it was Slovakian cam girl business. I'm pretty sure because I saw a video of him basically beating up.
I've seen.
It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's not great.
But yeah, it's
But
yeah.
he's spoken about how he gets girls into those camera videos and being on doing things across the internet, and it's a studies method. It's known as the lover boy method, where he'll promise marriage, he'll promise a relationship,
like the riches, and
so he literally plays psychological games with people. And like I said, the whole thing that gets me is so many people, I mean, people our age, people older than us, and boys younger than us. And I say boys not to make a generalisation, but to also like we can
It is his main audience.
His main
it is his
audience
audience.
is boys. So I don't want anyone to be like, oh, she hates all men. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say that. And all these boys just still like buying into it. And like I said, just what gets me is that like women, and it is predominantly women, are coming out and saying, but what he's saying is so wrong, and they're just so motivated by the so-called alpha sigma mindset, and it's just so toxic, and it's really like breeding such a bad mindset and like culture among the
Yeah, I mean, like I see where you're coming from. With, like, his audience are more, let's say, from maybe even 11 till fuck knows, like maybe in the 40s right now. So I mean, he has like a huge demographic that he can influence. Obviously, like a large portion of them still growing, still getting, like, I guess, like getting their minds made, I guess. So having somebody with this much like influence in a world where we're quite progressive right now in the world, so it's like having that someone who's like shines over everybody, over like every other like male role model especially.
Well, I think it's because his views are so different. That's what makes him stand out.
But I mean, like having somebody like that, like that. I don't give a fuck about this, or I don't give a fuck about that. Like to a lot of guys, that's quite like that's something, you know. It's not wanted, but like you want to feel that strong kind of thing.
It's a natural thing in guys.
Yeah.
It is a natural thing. You want to be
like
the best. It is a natural thing. It's not.
So, but having that,
You want to win.
like, yeah, exposing that to like young teens.
Well, there's that, but then it's pushing it to the extreme.
Because the thing that I find really interesting is, and I've spoken to, and I've seen this video myself, is he said the most, in my opinion, most basic thing, and everyone took it and ran with it and said, oh, but he said this really good thing. And it was basically him saying, you need to change your mindset. Don't think, oh, I have to go to work today. Think, oh, I'm really lucky that I have a job and get to go to work today. And everyone said, oh, yeah, but he comes up with really good things like this. This is the one good thing he said. And so many people are using it as an excuse. I mean, how many people are you going to hear in your life and have heard in your life saying, you just need to have a positive mindset?
Yeah.
Everyone. But for some reason, he'll say one remotely okay good thing. And then people will just use it to like fuel everything else that he's done. I just don't know if you guys have seen that.
I think I've seen a clip because I didn't really know anything about him until maybe a couple of months ago as well. Like, I wasn't really following it. But I mean, just hearing some of the stuff that he said, like, it's like how you tell a good lie. Obviously, you lie, but you sprinkle in a bit of truth to make it believable. So it's just crazy how, like, to this point, he's still got like away with it. So like, even with like the Slovakian cam girl business that he done, like, it's surprising from the video that I saw that nobody's like what's the word? Like, also like took a hint when they watched that, because it seems pretty violent. Like, you know, when you like screenshot like a picture of something, like it zooms out more and more.
Yeah.
It was extremely zoomed out. So a lot of people have seen it and spread it around, but like, how the hell has it taken this long just to even get him in a detention centre?
I mean, yeah, I think, and it's so clear across other aspects, is that when you're a man in power, you can abuse it. And if Andrew Tate has a large amount of money, a large amount of following, like, he can abuse power. And I mean, that's something that we've seen with Prince Andrew. That's something we've seen with Harvey Weinstein. That's something we've seen with Jeffrey Epstein. And Andrew Tate is another one of these people who knows he has this position of power and knows he can abuse it. Because what it's going to end up being is one person comes out and speaks forward. Yes, that can, you know, trigger other people to come forward. But also, how many times do you hear a woman come forward about her experience and people go, oh, well, what if she's lying? You can't say that because she might be lying. What proof do you have? As if when someone gets abused, they take their phone out and video it. As if, like, a lot of witnesses are going to come forward. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, a lot of those people who, like Harvey Weinstein, in a way, this is going to sound bad, but he was somewhat of a weird necessary evil to happen. Because out of him, we got the Me Too movement. And with that out, you had, like, I can't remember how many people it was.
The Me Too movement started before Harvey Weinstein.
Really?
Yeah, it's been going on for longer, but it really picked up during that, and that's when it gained a lot of media traction.
I mean, like, but like, how many girls was it when that happened? I think it was like in the millions.
I don't think it was in the millions, mate. It was a fair few.
It
I don't think it was millions.
It wasn't just about Harvey Weinstein, like millions of.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just with Harvey Weinstein. I don't think he was that.
I mean,
that prolific.
For some kind of rough like ballpark figure, the National Office of Statistics released, and this was the statistic of 2021, which I read recently, is 1 in 4 women at some point have been sexually assaulted or raped at some point.
Jesus.
It's a lot more than people think, and respectfully, and it's 1 in 20 adult men is what I read. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men. Just want to make it clear, but it's a lot more prevalent against women, and I think. Again, that's another thing that gets me about what some men will say, and even maybe what some women will say is then they go, oh, well, it can't be that many. But if you're coming from a position of male privilege where it doesn't affect you as much, like how do you know that's going to happen if you don't see it and if you don't experience it? It's like how I could sit here and say, well, as a white person, I would never sit here and refuse racism happens. Of course it does, but I'm coming from a point of privilege, but I don't see it. Yeah. I have never seen someone be racially abused or made any comment made, and like that's so blatantly from a point of privilege, and that's what really like irks me about. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's what sets you off. It's what.
Yeah, it's like everybody is blindsided onto what they see, that they don't actually see the wider picture.
Well, it's all about perspective.
Yeah.
In the end, it's all about what you see and what you hear.
I mean, like, I'm thinking of like other examples of Andrew Tate that like happened in the past, and really the only like person I can think of is like you said, like people in power, really. Like,
do you know what's really interesting is there's a female podcaster who's basically like a female version of him. She's called Pearl. I can't remember her last name.
Call that bitch out. Yeah, call her out.
Call that bitch out.
Yeah.
Do you know her? Have you seen her?
I haven't, but
no, I've never heard of her.
Absolutely awful, and people refer to her as the female Andrew Tate. She says awful things about women. She'll shame women for having sex. She'll say, you know, oh, well, they use abortion for this method. She's very misogynistic, which, again, if you're a woman who's misogynistic, that baffles me as well. And one of her videos came up on my TikTok, and I went onto the comments thinking, everyone's going to be like, oh, what on earth is this about? I think
it was all support.
Yeah, and this was a comment of her saying, you know, women are so ran through these days, completely shame women for having sex. And I went through the comments, and everyone was just like, oh, you know, I want to marry this woman, I'm so attracted to her, like, she's speaking facts, you know, female Andrew Tate, like, really, like, and I could not find one comment, and there were hundreds, and I mean, I scrolled down to the comments that were, like, 0 likes, and it was still, Jesus. And I responded to, I maybe found about 3, actually, 3 out of, like, 2,000, 3,000, and this is also the danger of this, what, like, Andrew Tate and these podcasters do, who spread this kind of message, is I replied to, I think, 1 or 2 comments, and it wasn't anything deep. Someone just said, I'm really attracted to this woman, and I went, that's embarrassing. Like, nothing deep. You know, and when I tell you now I wasn't offended by it, because I've had a lot of men say a lot of horrible things to me, so I'm just like, oh, do you know what, whatever. But the things I had said to me in the comments were really quite horrible. I had people saying how I must be so ran through, how I must have slept with at least 15 people, I'm just projecting. One of them was a man I remember his name.
Call him out.
One of them was called Arnold Haskin. And I looked up this man who had actually turned out he'd been arrested for aggravated stalking, which was a really interesting.
There you go.
Fucking hell.
And this man who must have been in his late 20s, 30s. This is why I'm saying it's not just young people who are being led by this, who was also a father. I knew that because I said it in his bio.
Jesus.
Then went and said to me, because I said to him, literally, this was it word for word, you are a father. What kind of way are you teaching your son to treat women? And what kind of way are you inviting other men to treat your daughters? So I'm not attacking him. I'm saying, like, if you are treating other women this way, how are you teaching your sons and daughters? Yeah. This man then came and said to me, well, I bet, like, you've grown up with no father. If so, I clearly need to have words with him about, like, me and how I'm acting.
Jesus.
See, this is what I think. When people go online, I think they enter a world they don't actually realise the calibre of, right? Because people will go on and they'll say, say if, like, you log on to Instagram or whatever.
Just say one quick thing.
Yeah.
The funniest thing to note in this is that his most recent post was #MentalHealthMatters. That's the one to add.
But like I said, people will go on the internet and they will, like I said, like, you go on your Instagram and you see a post, you say something nasty or whatever, and you sign off. Like, it's you think thing, but obviously to other people, that's their. Like I said, a lot of people are infused with social media now. I don't get it. I said I have social media. I'm not going to say like social media was bad for you or anything like that, but like, when I go on, I never go on there and think, oh, I'm gonna drop a nasty little comment here. No point.
Yeah.
There's no point to it at all. But I wouldn't go on there and say, you know, like, you know what I see. This is what I don't get. Sorry, this is things that girls do when their mate posts a picture and they go stunning, beautiful, and all that. You drop a picture and say, oh, this cunt.
Yeah.
But I like.
Girls support girls.
Yeah.
I mean, but like, I guess that's one thing. Like, why do you actually like? Generally, like, why do you like comment on like your mates' photos? Like,
I think I love to make my friends feel good about themselves, and if they look good, like I want to tell them, because I mean it's always nice to see, and I know that men don't get complimented enough, so so maybe that, because do men compliment other men a lot? No.
I mean, I've seen fake friends like on comments, like post like you know the fire emoji.
Like I said, like a real
the eyes go off.
See, a real friend to me would say, if I post someone would say something rude to me, because he's having a crap. But like someone that I've been like I said, drops the fire emoji. Right, mate. Like it's just not as. But I think that's the difference between.
A little emoji and then someone going, "Oh, you look really good here." Or like, your smile is so nice. It's like it's a lot nicer to read.
But if it come from here, I'd be like, "All right, mate. Thanks."
This
I'd
guy's
be like, "All right."
All right. I mean, that's actually something. Friendship groups between boys and girls is like day and night.
Oh, it's very different.
Like I'm
very different.
Like, we have
day and night. So I didn't understand that expression the other day. He dropped it. I didn't have a clue what he was talking about.
But like. We have a girl in our group, right? Lydia.
Yeah.
She's a lesbian, but like
that's why it works.
That's why it works.
It's why it works.
Like, with like if you have a boy in your friend group, would that work?
I mean, I'm friends with George.
No, I mean like if you have a friendship.
Is he
group
like in your
had
like
for a while.
tight knit circle of?
I mean, I'm thinking of my friends at home. Shout out.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to show him this is more than fun. We'll take any of attention.
My friends from home, I have a close group of, it's me, another girl, and 2 boys. So it's 2 girls, 2 boys. My flatmates, it's like a pretty even split. Obviously, you know, Arzia and Rachel. Me, Arzia, Rachel, and George, we're all friends. With friends I've been with longer, it's mainly just girls.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's good, but I like having friendship groups with guys. It changes it, but in ways that then make it different from other friendship groups.
See, personally, I think we've had our fair experience of having girls in the group, and it did not turn out well in thing.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't really work. It can work, but I think the more time you spend with one another, like I said, if you're friends where it's you're close enough that you hang out every once in a while, but when you become the point where like you're together a lot all the time, I think there then becomes the natural attraction to one another. So that's when it could fall.
I mean, I think what's a good example, I guess, but like so like in a mostly boys group, if you have a girl there, it's not gonna work because those boys will fight. For sure.
They won't fight.
No,
Lord of the Flies kind of thing.
I don't think they wouldn't fight, but I think
because there's gonna be jealousy in there. Like even if the girl shows like, oh, she's not interested at all, there's still gonna be some jealousy out there. Like
I don't. My friendship group in college in 6th form, there was jealousy. Yeah. Over the girls.
And was there like a guy involved?
So there was.
Does tend to happen.
But I actually then have a question, because I read this thing, or I heard this thing, and it's like it's about guys and girls being friends. However, guys will be friends with a girl, not on like the provider that this is the sense, but they'll be friends with girls who they are attracted to. If they're not attracted to, they're
for sure. I think there's no reason for a guy to get close with a girl unless. Unless
you're put in the circumstance with them. So like I'm friends with a few people at work. These are people I wouldn't probably normally be friends with, but because I've had to spend a lot of time with them, like these are not people that if I was on a night out, I'd go, right, I'm gonna go over there and like introduce myself or whatever. Yeah. But these are people where I've had to spend loads of time with them. I've grew accustomed to them, and I do like them. They're all right.
I mean, like what I mean is like becoming close, like in a like if a girl joined our group now, it would not work. It would not work. But if it's like we're classmates, that works. Yeah. Because like we know each other through class.
Cool, so we're not friends. Cool.
Yeah. You're just here for the views. But like that, like in those circumstances, it works because you're in.
Is it situational?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's really interesting because I mean I am friends with guys, and to be fair, I don't really consider their attraction. Like I don't really think much if I'm attracted to them because, firstly, I have a boyfriend, so that doesn't cross my mind anyways. But even when I was single and things, that just didn't cross my mind because I feel like me and like many of my girlfriends, like we can be friends with guys just without just thinking I like spending time with you, I like your company. I don't see why there would be a need in a friendship for then it to always be like, oh well, I'm only gonna be closer to you because I want something out of it. Because I mean, I have friends which that's happened to. I mean, and you know, they've been friends with a guy, something has happened, but you know, it's been nothing serious. And then when they haven't maybe wanted more, they get like a horrible behaviour back. Yeah,
it's like, I guess like the friends with benefits kind of thing. Either side will probably break at some point and want more, I guess.
That is true.
Or either dissolve or it would expand further.
But I mean, like, I always like thought it was kind of not weird, but like fascinating in a way how like dramatic the difference is between like friendship groups in boys and girls. Like with boys, like what's one thing? It's very stereotypical, but like when girls meet up, like they're like compliment each other like every second when they're with each other, but turn their back for a second.
Yeah, but that's the stereotype. Does that actually happen though? Like,
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, at some point in my life, yeah, definitely. But I also think that's a very like stereotypical teenage thing.
Probably.
But not the majority of the time. I mean, I have like my best friend here, Asia. Love her. Like, and we always hype each other up to make each other feel good about each other because, you know, why wouldn't you? If you look good, I'll tell you look good. Because also it's one of those things. I remember this just like partly off topic. I remember when I was in year 11. You know the game Paranoia?
I don't.
No, I
so
do
what
not
it
know
would be
this
is
game.
someone whispers a question in your ear. You say the name. You say the answer out loud. Flip a coin whether the.
Oh yes, Burning Bridges. Burning Bridges.
Six things.
Yeah, Burning Bridges.
And
Vital
someone said,
game.
and they were playing it in class, and someone said, you know, who's the ugliest girl in class? And someone said my name. Someone said my name, and I wasn't playing the game, and I was like, why has my name just been said? And then it was revealed. And then that's something that like you remember. And then I remember the next week, I was in like the IT, I was doing some work, and this girl that I went to school with, like, I hadn't spoken to her in years, and then she was just like, you look really pretty today. And that's just a little thing that like made my whole day. I'd been feeling really down about the thing, but when someone says those things to you, it just makes you feel good about yourself. And men should do it more. Girls should do it more. But also, if like, let's say, hypothetically speaking, I was upset with one friend and I went to go speak to my friend about it and rant to her about it, like, I'm really frustrated this has happened. Is that really talking shit? Or is it just like ranting, just getting off your chest? Obviously, if it comes down to personal insults and tearing the person down,
then
but let's say I was
the
like,
different caliber of it,
let's say I was like, you know, Hytham's really like annoyed me. He's really frustrated me. Oh, I guess
what a dick.
Yeah, but then like that, I wouldn't say that talking shit if I was like, oh, and he's always like this, and he's just so annoying, and I've never really liked. Then obviously that becomes personal. But really, just going and like ranting, I think, and getting something off your chest isn't really, in my opinion, at least, isn't really.
I mean, yeah, that's a fair point, really. I mean, like venting to somebody is just kind of getting. What's the word? Like,
everyone falls out.
Yeah.
I've fallen out with most of my friends and had to rant to someone else about it. But then you go back to them and you say, look, I'm annoyed about this. I've got like my frustration out of it. And then you just communicate and figure it out. But I think some people will look at that and go, oh, well, they were talking shit, but they weren't.
I mean, I guess you can put the argument of you were, but you were doing it to release frustration in a way.
Like I said, I think it depends. Like if I was like insulting you, that is talking badly.
But then, yeah, if you're just like saying like, oh, he's annoying, or he's done this thing.
Like this thing has annoyed me.
Yeah,
yeah, that's just not.
But also, I'm not saying people don't. I mean, everyone talks. I mean, I've spoken badly about people. I'm sure. I'm not proud of it.
I mean, nobody's done.
No, we haven't. Never.
Never.
Yeah, not us.
I mean, nobody's a saint. You can search the ends of the earth, and nobody's a saint on this planet. Nobody.
But I'm pretty close, but yeah.
Prouder. But I mean, like, I think that's just like school culture at that point, wouldn't it? Like
I think school is a load of bollocks. In the sense of like how you actually are as people.
Do you know what I think's really funny? And I want to know your opinion because we spoke about talking shit in school. Is when people are like, oh, you know, men or boys do it so much easier. Like they just have like a little punch up and it's over and done with. Why is having a punch up a better option? Do you know what I mean? People say that. And I'm just like, why is that the better option?
See, the thing is,
that's
kind
testosterone.
Of had that.
Yeah,
we had
last year.
No, like last year of school.
Oh, last year of school. Oh, the boxing thing.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Club, like
that was so much fun.
It was fun, but the thing is, we started that because we just wanted to fucking punch up.
Yeah. See, there was literally no other reason to it. It was just like, let's have a punch up.
The only time I actually saw like a punch up to resolve anything was actually between two girls.
Really?
Remember? What's her name?
Oh, I know. Chantel and
Tanisha.
No, not Tanisha.
No, Thalia. I think her name.
Thalia?
Yeah, it was a weird name, but I remember.
Do you mean Thalia?
Yeah, I was gonna
something like that. But yeah, those two girls actually. Well, I say
yeah, she lost a tooth, didn't she?
Yeah,
she punched a tooth out. Yeah.
Jesus.
Thalia, yeah. So I don't know.
In fairness,
it wasn't really a punch up in the end.
Scrap,
a one-sided combo.
There was one in our school that was that bad. That was it Crawford? Was his name Crawford?
Crawford, yeah.
Remember, he had a fight with I think 4 or 5 people. They like tried to jump him or something.
Oh,
the whole school was running around watching the whole thing.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yes,
like literally everyone was running around trying to watch it. I mean, like, I don't mean like 100. I mean pretty much the whole school was watching this.
I remember when that would happen in my secondary school, and it would just be like suddenly you just see everyone gravitating to one spot maybe on the field.
They didn't hide it very well, did they?
No, I mean, like I actually remember why. Because I wasn't close with him, but we talked in English quite a bit. Yeah, well, he dealt some stuff, and I think it was like he got or he cheaped them out or something.
Yeah.
So that's why it happened.
Stupid.
But like school, like alright, like public schools, right? When you're talking about public schools, it's just outlaw. I've like, in Saudi especially, like this is not United Kingdom schools, but in Saudi it is literally the Wild West. Like I remember I was a loner. Like I couldn't get close with anybody, but I remember in public school in Saudi it was like the teachers couldn't do much because the teachers hid in their classrooms. Mm-hmm. So what they did to control kids in like lunchtime or break time was they would literally get like the scouts of Saudi, right? The scouts, and they would literally rule Scouts. You know,
doing
like
scouts.
Like, you know,
scouts.
Yeah.
I thought you was like hiring like people to.
No. Like the school scouts kind of thing.
Okay.
They ran the school over there. Yeah, for real, it was literally like it was like a general, like a soldier with like a power trip. So like one example, in lunchtime we weren't supposed to eat within the building, like the classroom.
You couldn't eat inside.
No, we couldn't.
Right.
So what these scouts would do, they would literally fucking like
so
kick down doors.
They're like glorified hall monitors.
I wouldn't even fucking. I'd say like SWAT team.
SWAT team.
Bro, they would kick down door. Well, not kick them down, but like kick them open, grab any kid out of the class and throw them outside.
It doesn't not like break some kind of.
Not at the time.
Sounds like they take their job seriously.
No, at the time. Like I remember a kid in class. Obviously, also teachers' abuse was still like allowed there. I remember a kid in art class, which just tells you how fucking nuts it is there.
Well, they're in art class.
Well, with that, but so in art class, they gave us like the curriculum is a bit weird, but they gave us like a colouring book that we were supposed to colour in. Amazing, but at the time we were like year 2.
I was gonna say, yeah. How old are you in this?
We were year 2, so like 7, 8 maybe. No, 7.
Our year 2 is 6 to 7. Age 6 to 7.
Yours is probably the same.
It's different though. We graduate at 18 over there, so.
Okay.
But so we had a colouring book, and the kid, like obviously this colouring book, you had to actually get the colour, so it would tell you green, blue, like with a letter, and you have to colour that bit.
Yeah, we know a colour book.
Yeah. So a kid coloured it wrong, right? And what the teachers thought was, without questioning. Like maybe this kid has a color blindness or anything. No, he decided just to grab his shoe and fucking lob it at the kid. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No. Like, it is nuts. Turned out the kid was actually colourblind, so...
Oh! That's not funny.
It's
That's
double whammy.
really, oh,
He's not going to watch this. I don't even know
you
him.
are. Love you.
No,
Really
no.
is like act first, think later, innit?
Jesus Christ.
To be fair, that teacher was a dick. I remember I didn't colour
Sounds fair.
I didn't colour in the book once.
I'm telling you, especially art teachers. At my secondary school, there was an art teacher. I think her name was Miss Sutton. First, she was
Wait,
like,
Sutton?
Miss Sutton.
Hey, it's not going to be the same teacher because it's just they have the same name, lad. They're not going to be the same teacher. Because we didn't even have a teacher. Was it an art teacher?
It was an art
yeah,
teacher.
Yeah, Miss Sutton's not an art teacher. It wasn't an art teacher. I think she was an English teacher, bro.
Okay, sorry.
You could be any more far away.
Continue, yeah.
And she was absolutely nuts. But in fact, like, people actually thought she was on drugs.
We had a teacher.
She was really crazy. And she was also then racist.
Oh, lovely.
She said the N-word. Yeah.
Was it like in a store or just no
I-
context?
I actually don't know. I only heard about this because...
reading that shit?
A mockingbird? No.
Picasso.
Jeez.
And there was then one boy of colour in my year, and I know he went to her classroom and she was like, look, I'm really uncomfortable. I think there was a little group with him, and he was like, I'm not. And from what I know, I didn't know the guy well at all, but from what I know about him, he wouldn't be the kind of person to be like really rude about it. And he was just like, you know, like I'm black, like I don't appreciate that you said this, and I don't even like. She still just made up an excuse for it, and somehow she didn't get fired.
Fuck.
Yeah, we had a teacher like
Yeah.
that.
Well, she must have
It's
some
nuts.
connections.
Like,
Was it the harder, or do you not know?
I don't know. I don't think either one is really acceptable.
I mean, yeah, neither. I mean, neither one.
There's an A at the end, then it's alright.
But I mean, like the
It's not
harder
right.
is like the fucking direct at them. It's like
Yeah, that's the
directed.
vicious one.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it's not good. but
Yeah.
I don't.
Probably should move on.
I don't know. I just remember like hearing that it happened, knowing that it happened. I was like, damn.
Yeah, we had a teacher like that.
I mean, this is like obviously like with me. Obviously, I went to the public schools, but here's the thing where I think is unfair. Obviously, I just told you like teachers throwing shoes at kids and like being a sub because you didn't colour a book or anything. But here's the thing. So compared to me and my brothers, my sister's the only one who actually went to a private school out of all of us, because public schools in Saudi aren't the safest for any girl. So she went to the school which I actually did go to for preschool. Very nice school.
Was this was in Saudi?
Yeah, still in Saudi. But I mean, like, even then, public schools in Saudi are basically the same, except that you have to pay like $3,000 real just to be in.
How much is that in pounds? Sorry.
Divide that by 5, which is 600. Is that 600?
3,000? Do you say?
Yeah, 3,000 divided by
Yeah,
5.
600.
Yeah, £600 a month.
Dude, that's compared to some private schools that I know of, that's not surprisingly too bad. I mean, it's
Seriously?
not. I mean, I'm from a little town called Sandhurst, and I live. It's not far from Reading, and I live right next to a place called Crowthorne, and there's a place called Wellington College in Crowthorne. I cannot remember for the life of me how much it is, but it's like 5 digits, 6 digits per year.
Fuck
ridiculous.
it.
I can
5
take
digits?
I'll take a look now. It's absolutely ridiculous.
For what? For like the whole years or like every year?
I think it's for like each academic year, but I'll take a look for you.
That's
rough.
fuck.
Have you seen
I'll double check.
while she's looking it up, you know, I saw a thing. You ever seen the Russell Howard Hour? You know what that is?
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
The Sky one, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he gets Greta. Is it
Greta Thunberg. Yeah.
Thunberg on it, and he asks her, "So how do you make?"
Don't worry, just continue.
He goes, "How do you make money?"
Sorry. So for a boarding pupil, this from the website, says current fee per term for a boarding pupil, 15,000
Per term.
per term. Day pupil in boarding house, 11,920, and then it just says day. So I'm guessing that's just if you just go in and come out. For
I'd
a
rather
term,
be thick as shit.
10,980.
Yeah, I'll be thick as shit.
It's
fuck
Yeah.
that.
so
I'll be,
ridiculous.
That
And
I'll be
I have
shit.
I have a friend. She was head girl. So I just went to state school.
yeah.
She was head girl at the sixth form there, and everyone in the local area went to Wellington College. I remember her saying how, because a lot of people like they go to, if they can pay that money, you know, they're coming from a very well-off family.
Oh yeah.
They'd be like, oh, you go to state school, and then they'd actually look down on you for it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Some people have that
Or like, they'll be
mindset.
like,
So
where are you
actually-
going to university? And they'll be like, oh, maybe I'm going to Bournemouth University. I'm going here. They're like, oh, so not Oxford or something.
So like,
Yeah.
gee, so you say you're like, you know, from like a small town. So I mean, that would, well, yeah, it would make sense. So I guess it's like a, what's the word? Like a closed net community.
Close knit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like everyone that went to my secondary school was either from that town or like just like the next town over.
So like everybody.
So
knew
everyone,
each other.
everyone knew each other.
kind of, yeah.
So that's a bit nuts that they would actually look down on you.
Yeah.
That's fucking hell.
I mean, as well, I don't live too far from Windsor, so I also then don't live too far from Eton.
Where's Windsor?
Just west of
That way.
London,
Thanks. Oh, fair enough.
just the other side of London. But it's quite funny. I have one of my friend's brothers, her twin brother. He goes to Oxford now, and he went to Eton. He went there on a scholarship though, so he didn't pay. He won a scholarship, but he like when he tells people, he's like, "I went to Eton. I didn't pay, by the way. Like I'm not
Yeah.
like
Not-
I went on a
not an
scholarship."
arsehole.
But
Fucking hell.
yeah, I don't agree with the private school system at all. I know people that have been there, and it's not the people I dislike, because everyone that I've met that's gone there has been fine. But
It's the way it's ran.
system.
So,
Like
yeah.
I don't like the idea that if you have money, you can pay for better education. I don't like the idea that if you have, it's like private health. I don't believe and I'm someone who's benefited from private health. I don't think that that's fair. That just because my mum has insurance with the company she works with, that I then get access to better healthcare, and that I don't have to wait a year to get my tonsils out when I've had tonsillitis, or I can see a GP on the day. Do you know what I mean? That I feel like things like education, like healthcare, should be like universally accessible.
Yeah.
I
Money
mean-
runs the world.
Yeah.
Money
I mean,
does
Money
run the
makes the
world.
world go round.
Yeah.
education-wise, I guess the only real argument to that is that if a parent wants the best for their kid, they'll throw them in that kind of school.
I mean, 100%. And coming like if I was a parent in like 10, 12 years time and I had the money, obviously I would want what's best for my child. So like I say, it's not the people that are putting their children in schools, it's not the children that are going there, because it's just the system. When we look at government, the majority of people in government, the vast majority, all went to private schools. After that, grammar schools. The smallest amount of MPs, like education-wise, state schools is like a minute percentage, like less than,
Yeah.
I don't want to say like a number because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's like less than 10%, less than 20%.
Jesus.
So it's very clear that going to private schools will give you advantages. And would that not just perpetuate like a classism divide?
I mean, like, well, I saw something a while back of basically like, so private schools are just not private schools.
Public.
Yeah, public schools train you to become workers essentially.
Yeah, they
I
don't
don't-
actually really teach you much.
Wait,
so you
so
can-
freedom aren't public schools technically, it's like state schools are the opposite of private schools. Public schools are also private schools. I knew
Say
this
that
sounds-
again?
I looked up because I used to call state schools public schools, and I might be completely wrong here.
Yeah, so
But if you look up public schools, private schools are public schools. State schools are not. I know it sounds really weird.
state
Yeah, I'm
schools
completely
are
fine.
ran. State schools are ran by the government. Those are public schools, I'm pretty sure, because they're ran by the government. Public schools
Yes.
are ran by a private sector.
No, so public schools is a type of fee charging private school. Yeah. No, I'm right. So state schools are not private schools.
Oh, so it's actually different.
Yeah, because
really.
I used to call it public schools.
Huh.
And then
so,
someone was like, that's not right.
so it's state schools.
Yeah,
Okay, so
run by the state. But
like-
public schools are fee charging. Public and private schools are the same. I know that's really weird.
yeah, that.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'll have
Why
to
is
lie,
that?
lad. I'll have to lie.
I mean, I guess you can route that back to like it may be like a marketing scheme in a way.
I don't know.
Like, oh, join our public school for this month, like, for this amount of months. Like, it might be like that.
They use the old like fashion, that
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
you, war.
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
need you.
I mean, like, with state schools, they essentially educate you to becoming a worker, not
Yeah.
somebody who can go further.
They teach you how to be an employee.
Yeah.
That's what they teach
Yeah.
you.
So I don't know what they actually teach in private schools that actually changes that, or it might just be like because they give more, I guess, emotional support in a way.
No, I think what it probably is they give you, like, imagine like me and you are going for a job interview, right? At an office, and on yours it says Oxford. You went to Oxford, uni, and I went to the Essex uni. They're going to be more intrigued, more inclined by your, unless like my CV stands out incredibly a lot more. I think they're going to be more pushed towards your one just because it says Oxford.
Yeah.
So I think all it is just giving you a bonus like that.
Because also, I mean, going to private schools, you get, I'm pretty sure there are smaller class sizes, so you get more like,
one-to-one.
More one-to-one, more like learning based on you. I know also they, is it IGCSEs? So IGCSEs and GCSEs are different, and I'm fairly sure IGCSEs are also known to be easier. So you can go somewhere, receive more one-to-one education, and then sit
an easier exam.
And then sit an easier exam. So it really does work in your benefit. Like, especially also, quick thing, Rishi Sunak, who went to one of the most prestigious schools in the country. He went to Winchester. I assume he went to Oxbridge.
He probably went to one of them, I'd imagine.
He's one of the richest MPs. And he says he's grown up. I mean, what baffles me is recently he was like, I grew up in an NHS family, as we didn't grow up also in clearly a large sum of money.
Isn't his wife like a multi-billionaire?
It's like,
or it's like his wife's dad. Yeah, but when he dies, she's gonna be left with a good chunk of change. Yeah.
I mean, that's something fucked up as well with like just MPs in general. Like, what was his name? Zahawi, the chairman of the Tory party. Zahawi.
Oh my god, I know exactly. Yeah, I can't think of it. But I know. With his tax.
Yeah, so essentially, I think you know a bit about
not
it.
a clue.
So this is the Zahawi guy who was the chairman of the Tory party.
Yeah.
So essentially, he made a website called YouGov. So essentially, it shows you all your details that the government has on you.
Really?
Yeah, so it shows like, oh, he's this old, stuff like that. Like, I don't really explain it, but it's essentially like that. And there's a lot of fraud within it. He apparently he didn't get any of the shares because he gave it to his dad, but his dad is international in Gibraltar where you didn't get taxed. So it was like,
oh, it's just a tax thing then.
Yeah, it's like £5 million in tax that he didn't pay.
It was high fraud, and then it's funny, in Prime Minister's Questions a few weeks ago, Rishi Sunak just went, I have nothing to say on the matter, or something along those lines, or he has said everything that needs to be said. And then within the next week, he hired an investigator. So then, and what my public affairs, because that's one of the modules I do here, teacher said was that it was, I think he said something like, it's so he has something to say in next Prime Minister's Questions. If it gets brought up, he can say he's doing something. And now obviously he's been sacked, but...
Oh, and for legal reasons, the last 5 minutes were allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't want to get caught in a...
Now we got you, bitch.
That was allegedly as well. But I mean, I don't know anything about like the Tory the Labour side of like the MPs. Are they like any of them actually go to private school or like?
I mean, I assume so because, it was a large percentage across all MPs. So I couldn't really tell you. I obviously Labour is known to be more representative of the working class. Yeah. But what it is, obviously going to private school gives you that step up into them being an MP more. So you can still go to private. I mean, not everyone that goes to private school is obviously right wing. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know too much. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
With Labour MPs at least, I guess they develop becoming more left wing from their parents, not from school, if they went to private, because you can assume it's a cesspool in there.
Well, I think it's also your class.
Say that again?
I think it's also your class and your wealth that determines how you actually view it. Because I would imagine that anyone with loads, I'm not saying that like everyone, but anyone with a good amount of money will probably be more conservative because it's more beneficial for them.
Keep their money,
It is more beneficial for them, whereas people that are the working class are more inclined to Labour because it helps them. So I think it does come down to class, wealth, and
I think there was stats showing that more than you would have thought of the working class voted for Tory, surprisingly.
Seriously?
But just more than you'd think. Like if you thought it would be like 5%, it was like more. But
that's kind of weird.
So it's weird because it's not really representative of them, and as like the last 13-14 years of Tory being in government, they've consistently screwed them over. I mean, I just remember this is when I like first like not realised, but like what first really got me interested in it was 2020. I remember, so we hadn't got the 2020 year of COVID. I hadn't got my GCSE results back, and the next thing I remember, A levels, everyone had been screwed over. You know, private schools had been really benefited in like their A level predictions. So many people had just been downgraded, and that was just another. And it's like the whole Gavin Williamson thing that went on. And that was just one instance, and for an idea for it to be more affecting our age group at that time, where private schools got massively benefited from it. And people then, because realistically, if you are in the working class, you're not going to have that opportunity to go to a private school.
Yeah,
I mean, bursaries are a thing, and I know that because my boyfriend, when he went to private school for a bit, he got a bursary, but managed to go there. But that happens. That's the exception. That's not the rule.
For people who don't know, what's that?
So that's when.
Yeah, because we know.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I think what they'll do is like they'll look at your grades and stuff, and they'll go, okay, well, we will cover a large part of your tuition.
Okay.
So
I
then you don't
see.
have to pay for it. But obviously that's an exception. And if private schools did that for everyone, they wouldn't really be private schools, would they? Because then they would hardly be earning anything. Also, from what I read, I know Zara Sultana, Labour MP for Coventry, I read her tweets, and the thing is that private schools don't actually pay tax.
Seriously?
Yeah, they don't. And it's a lot of money. And if you even took a portion of that money, you'd be able to like fund all like primary school children to have free meals.
Fuck.
This was.
So
That's what
private
Rashford's trying to do,
schools.
Mm.
isn't it?
So private schools.
They don't pay tax.
But how does that work? Because they're technically a company, though, no?
Well, they probably have their offices or whatever. Because that's how big companies do it. They have offices in different countries. That's how
I
Amazon
guess,
do it. So they where it's a lower
Corporation would
tax.
still be.
There's ways around it. There's
Yeah,
loads of
actually
ways
check
around
it.
tax. I mean, I don't know that.
I mean, like, that's because like what you say, like 15 grand for one student, what is it, one term?
That was at Wayne College, which is known to be very good. I mean, there will be different ones. I'm trying to think. It's called Farnborough Hill, was a private school, like secondary school, sixth form, near where I went to. I don't know the fees there. They would have been lower than Wellington College.
Yeah.
Like, that's mad. Like, it is, like, but where, the most thing that I obviously, like, thinking about, like, other than the money that goes to the teachers and the, like, maintenance of the school, where does that rest of it go?
Some brother's pocket.
True.
Yeah.
They don't just keep it in a big vault.
Jesus.
It goes in someone's pocket. Or some people's pocket.
I mean, that's one thing. Like, that is kind of just like, it's not scary, but it is kind of concerning if you think about it. But like, large corporations, like obviously they all started small. But for one example, Facebook.
Yeah, if they pay
That's-
tax.
That started in a fucking garage, wasn't it?
Yeah, a garage.
A garage, and now look at it. Like, my guy he's been to court. He looks like a fucking alien.
Yeah, I
But
don't
like-
think he's real. I don't think he
Who?
can't be real. Mark Zuckerberg. That brother's a robot. You ever seen the South Park episode of him?
Yeah.
Where he walks
Show
up and
him
down.
what's
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
But like, it's like with those companies and how they even started, it just surprised me how they're even up still. Like, you know.
Sorry, I just found this thing. So this is what Zara Sultana posted, and it was money raised by ending tax breaks for elite private schools, 1.7 billion. Money needed to fund every primary school child getting a free school meal each day, almost half of that. What's more important, protecting tax breaks for elite private schools or feeding hungry kids?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Maybe see elite private schools then. But
Yep.
still,
Check
that doesn't
that.
really make it much better because those are obviously the ones earning the most.
Yeah, fucking hell. I mean,
Yeah. Money creates greed.
yeah, for real. Fucking hell. I mean, like what I was talking about just a second ago, like, but large corporations that started out small, like just thinking about how they actually grew into it, like what's like a group, like a company that started off as like 2 or 3 people that now is just,
McDonald's, Facebook, all of them.
you know,
None of them started with a big crew.
I'm thinking of like one that got like backstabbings and like stuff like that. Like, alright, this isn't really a big corporation.
McDonald's, Facebook, all of them
know.
did.
I mean, this isn't like a big corporation, but if anybody remembers, you remember Skyler's Minecraft?
Yeah.
No.
You don't. I don't know. Essentially, he was like a Minecraft YouTuber way back in the day. I mean, I say way back, it's like maybe fucking actually,
Well, when
10
we
years.
was kids, yeah, when we
Yeah,
were
10
kids.
years now. Essentially, he made Minecraft videos like with his mates, and at the time, Minecraft was fucking popping off, right?
Are you talking? Are you gonna mention how his friends left him or stuff like that?
Here's the thing, it's worse than that. A lot of his mates, like, obviously were there for fun at first, but then a lot of them actually, like, saw how much corruption he was getting from it. Because he was making hundreds
Yeah,
of thousands. Like,
But
a
you do
month.
realise why they stopped talking to him, right?
Yeah, wasn't it because he done in a little go? Wasn't it?
No,
was it?
no. He was like emotionally abusing his missus.
Oh yeah.
Like,
And, like,
and they had a kid together, I think.
yes. Yes.
They had a kid, and then it just
Mason.
You remember the kid's name?
I remember the kid's name.
By God.
Because I remember
My
after
God.
that, I actually stopped watching him for a while, and then I came back to him and KSI having beef.
Yeah, he started,
Out of
I think he was
nowhere.
battering his wife.
Fucking
Jesus.
I think.
hell.
So don't
Alleged.
quote me on it.
Alleged.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's alleged.
I'm pretty
think
sure he did.
I think it's confirmed.
But then it was like, I think it was one of those like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard things of like she done it to him, he done it to her. It was, I think it was one of those cases.
That's one of. It's a really interesting topic. That whole
What
thing.
the
Amber
Johnny?
Heard,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp
Let's
thing.
talk about it. I mean, like,
Because I see. I think right, and I could be wrong here. I think they're just as bad as one another.
Do you know what? That's exactly what I think, and this is my entire point. My entire point with this whole thing, because I bring this up so often. Not really, but
Yes. Talk about whenever.
Do you remember how it was all being like the whole trial was being like live streamed on TikTok and everyone was
Which
really,
is
like,
ridiculous.
which is
Oh,
so
yeah.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It
And
shouldn't be.
And some people like like really pro Johnny Depp as if he didn't like abuse her. And I think people really took this opportunity to just, I mean, 100% abusers should not be like supported in any ways, which is why it baffles me that Johnny Depp is still being supported. But people really took this as to be like, oh look, like really pushing this like women lying narrative. And so when I think women come forward about their stories, the 1 or 2% that are wrong, people will run with that and say with everything, even though there is evidence to show that Amber Heard was also abused. Because she did it back, people then were so quick to call her a liar, and this idolisation of Johnny Depp going as if he's innocent, which he's not.
He's not even that good of an actor.
yeah.
Like I don't.
I like his
I
acting.
don't think he's
I'll
even
give
that
him
good.
his acting, but like,
Mm.
I'm the kind of person that can't separate the art from the artist sometimes. Like, I don't, like Rex Orange County, he was recently, found, the case was dropped or something. Was I found not guilty? Do you guys know about that with Rex?
I know Rex Orange County. I don't know what. Well, wasn't it? He was with a young girl, was it?
He was accused of either rape or sexual assault.
Wait, who's this again?
He's a singer. Do you play Project or like?
No, unfortunately. So yeah, you guys keep talking about it. I'm not sure what's going on.
And
Look at the lights.
And then also it's like when people, if the case was dropped or he was found, I can't remember exactly, but the fact that then some people came out and was like, oh, I knew he was innocent from the start. Oh, I always supported him. I'm like, you supported someone who was like accused of rape or sexual assault. You like, I don't understand why that doesn't that doesn't cause like alarm bells to go off for some people.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's the whole thing of I don't want to say it wrong, like.
Nah, drop it,
kill
bro.
myself over.
Drop it.
But like, what is it? Is it innocent or is it guilty until proven otherwise?
Innocent till proven guilty.
Innocent till
Jinx.
proven guilty.
Got you back. Hey.
But like, I never really understood that really. So they're innocent until.
Well, yeah, you
in
can't.
court.
No.
No.
So until that verdict, when they say guilty,
Yeah.
they're innocent. You can't, because then, I think what the expression is if you look at someone and say you're guilty,
Yeah.
your mindset is going to be you are guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it clouds your judgment. Whereas if you think, okay, right, he's innocent. Okay, right, now let's have a look at the facts. Let's have a look at the evidence that's against him. Okay, right, we can now apply this to this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. And now we can come to the verdict that he is guilty based on what we've been given, not just he's guilty.
Oh, I see.
It's
Day and night.
like it's between guilty to proven innocent and innocent till proven guilty. Honestly, obviously, innocent to proven guilty is like the right thing to go by. However, I think it can also like be quite dangerous in the sense of like, especially when it comes to like rape and sexual assault or something that is so difficult to prove. Because obviously, if someone's if someone like, I don't want to say like rape me for example, but let's say that happened, it happened behind closed doors, and I come forward and I say that, who's seen it? Did I video it? No. What evidence would I have?
Yeah, it's just your word against his.
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
that
Or hers, you know.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it.
And also, this was when I was doing my GCSE drama. It was on feminism, and
One was on Mice of Men.
and we researched cases, and there was this case in Ireland in only 2018, so fairly recently. And a girl was accusing, I think she was probably like 18, 19, and she was accusing this guy of rape, but there was so much evidence against him, as in there were messages between him and his friends describing it. There was blood on her clothes. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
There was
lovely.
there was evidence like inside of her, and still but he was found not guilty because of the idea that she was asking for it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So that's when I'm like, that mindset, and I know that's like maybe an exception case, that's not the rule for all of them, but also, like I say, rape and sexual assault is so difficult to prove. But when you have statistics from the National Office of Statistics saying it's 1 in 4 women, like,
it is pretty crazy.
It's
crazy.
I mean, also when it comes to sexual harassment, I think it's like up to 90% of women up to 97% of women have experienced sexual harassment.
I saw this thing. It was a TV show. Me and my mum watched it, and it was this girl. She went to a she pretended to go to a club. She had a hotel room nearby. It was in London and Manchester. She done it in.
Okay.
And so she went to, I can't remember the name of the show, but she's in this hotel. She's got like staff all watching her around. So she basically goes on the street of London or Manchester.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
And she acts really drunk. Seen that one?
Oh, Jesus.
She acts really drunk, and so she said like I think she's like just sat on, there's like the white barriers they put down in London.
Yes, I saw this.
She's just sat on one of them, and this guy comes over. And at first he looked like, he was like, are you alright? You're alright. I'm pretty sure he looked concerning. Mm-hmm. And then it got to the point where he was like escorting her back to her room.
And even though she said so, it was.
He was like, no. She was like, no, I'm fine. Look, I'll be fine on my own. He was like, no, I'll thing. He like kept persisting.
And he like got fully was in her room in the end, and then
she was just acting completely sober. Well, she was sober.
She was like,
get out.
Why'd you follow me? I told you so many times, like I didn't want you to. And I think when the cameraman, because he was in like a separate room in the hotel or something, or just next to her, she just started like crying to him afterwards.
It was they had a security guard in the next room just in case like he lunged for her or anything like that.
Right.
But I think he goes, oh, because we were gonna have sex. I think like, and she goes, no, at no point did I ever insinuate that I wanted to do that. And then he leaves. Yeah,
and it's again one of those things which maybe like as a man, it's something that's, like I said, point of privilege. Like if it doesn't happen to you, you might not see it happen. If you're not if you're not sexually harassing someone and you're not being sexually harassed, like how are you really going to see it? Like you're going about your day. But there is like, I have obviously a lot of girlfriends. There is not one girlfriend that I have who has not experienced the minimum of sexual harassment. And it starts as young as 12. I mean, I remember the first time I was catcalled, I was in year 8 in my school uniform, so I would have been 12 years old.
By who?
A guy in a car. Red car on the side of the road.
Call him out.
Yeah,
guy in a red car.
Santos.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking just creepy in general.
See, this is generally one thing, right? Whenever I try to talk to a woman, whatever, this is what really deters me from talking to women. Is that I don't want to come across as this creepy thing, and that I think it's what happens to a lot of guys now. Mm-hmm. I think it's a lot easier to hide behind, like a DM instead of like the face-to-face value, because I just think it's so. Like I said, like if I say one thing wrong, she's gonna start shouting. I think. What?
I mean, I think not personally, but like just what we see in the news and we see like memes and shit like that. In general, like being like interacting with a girl, you'd have to have like, I guess, what would you call it, like a certain appearance. Like in last episode when we were debunking stuff, like he's on a journey now.
Yeah.
Actually,
so for anyone that didn't watch the last one, I wanted to prove how terrible dating apps are for people, because they don't work.
My sister, funny enough, sorry, she was on Tinder for like one day. I'm so sorry, interrupted.
Yeah, and she just gets loads of matches like that.
Yeah, but she's been with her boyfriend for over 2 years now. They met in like the first day, but like I know, but
for women it's different. Men it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
But yeah, I know some guys who have been, but their sidelines are a bit interesting.
I say that again. They're what?
They're
Something
pickup
like they're
lines, say
sliding
things.
like pickup lines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think pickup lines are cringy. I think unless like they're really well thought out.
But you know, smart.
Yeah, or like related to, let's say like a girl posts a picture of like her and a horse, and you make one that's related, like that's actually good to it. Then fair enough. But you know, like people like say, "Oh,
what would you start with that with a girl and a horse, mate? What would your mind go to there?
I don't know. No reason, mate. No reason at all.
But yeah.
No, but when so you really threw me off, that you fucker. I've not sent anyone a message with a girl with a horse, bro. Calm down. But yeah, I just think they're just really cringy.
They
I
are.
just like as a girl, let's say you was on one of the dating apps and a guy said, "Oh, what's the fell from heaven one? Did it hurt when you fell
from
heaven?
heaven?
Yeah.
I think as a girl, if I was ever a girl and I saw that, I think, what the fuck off.
But the thing
She'd
is,
be like, do you know what? I'd be like, that's weird. That's no, I don't really. I've never experienced the ick, but that would certainly give it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. That quote.
I think if a girl said it to me, I'd tell her to fuck off. It's horrendous.
But here's the thing. Someone.
It's worked for someone.
It's worked for some motherfucker out there, bro. That's why it's popular.
I think you must be that person's exact type to a T for it to remotely work.
Yeah, he probably
dropped
dropped it about 20 times before, and they've gone, "Nah, you're alright, mate."
Yeah, like God.
And then he's found like this one in the club who's like, you know, just after a breakup, whatever. She doesn't really care what he said. It's like, yeah. That'll do.
Jesus Christ.
So how do you guys feel then if you like approach women like in public then?
See, no, you would not approach any like a guy, or at least me personally, I would not approach a girl in public. Like I wouldn't go up to someone and say, "Oh, hi," you're like.
Or like in
that.
a social setting.
Like in a social setting, like what?
Like maybe like if you're
like
a
a
bar
club.
or like a club or like a gathering.
A club you could, like a bar you probably could as well, but just in the street, no.
No, I mean if someone came up to me in the street, I'd be like, I just want to get to my car, like I'm just
Like,
yeah.
Like in general, so you have to have a certain appearance to be able to actually approach people nonchalant. You have to have a certain appearance. I don't have it. I don't think. I probably do, but you know, keep myself humbled. But like you, like guys in general, even the most attractive guys probably don't.
No.
What makes you feel nervous about it?
It's mostly like you've heard like the stuff that happened. Like you see stuff on the internet, right? I think it started from that, like seeing like a girl's reaction to talking to a random guy. You can see in a lot of those videos of like, let's say streamers actually, like streamers just like do like the hidden camera videos, right? Like they have the camera in their pocket and they're just walking in the street. Those kind of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that like film people's reactions.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. So when you see like them interacting with girls, it is like they you can see clearly they are very uncomfortable. And as guys, we hate that feeling when we think we have a girl uncomfortable. We hate that feeling. So we just don't even bother trying to even get into a situation where that might happen.
I think for me, it's breaking the ice, because if let's say you're a girl and you're at the bar, I don't know what I'd say to you. Hello, because I wouldn't use a pickup line, like the cringy.
And she'd probably slap you.
Well, I don't think I think that's a bit of an extreme reaction. Well, I think it's what I said.
Oh well, yeah, obviously.
I've said, "Oh, you got a face like a horse." Well, excuse me. Then I think, but I don't think she'd just slap me, mate.
No, I don't think so.
I think you're well over imagining there.
How do you think? If a random guy, not a random guy, but like,
What would be a random guy?
Oh yeah. If a guy approached you like in a pub, would you be like, would you be uncomfortable if he just approached you? Or?
No, so if I was single and someone approached me, I wouldn't really. I mean, I wouldn't really judge. I'd just be like, oh, okay. And let's say they were really nice, and maybe talk to them for a bit. If I was my friends, I'll probably just like focus on being my friends. Like, if I didn't really come with that mindset, I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be rude. I wouldn't be like.
If your friends are with you, you'd be alright with it.
Yeah, I think probably when you're alone, that's when it's a bit like, oh, I'm alone. Like, I don't know. I mean, like spiking rates went up a lot. A lot of people I know have been spiked. I mean, even in sub on campus, people have been spiked. Like, it's very easy to do. So maybe like if you come up to them like with friends, it's probably like. I mean, I've been in the club before, and like people have come up to me. Like this guy came up to me and was like, oh, like you look really beautiful, and I was like, oh, thanks. I have a boyfriend. But I didn't feel like no, but I like wasn't rude about it. But I was just like. But I didn't feel like uncomfortable by it. I mean, apart from the fact that he came up from behind me and then like said it, I was like, oh, bloody hell, right. But
like,
I think it was probably like, if you're alone, if you don't really have any people with you, I would feel a bit, because you know there are so many stories that you hear, and I mean, recently there was like, I know this wasn't like in a bar or club, but obviously like with things that you hear, you kind of got to think about it from a woman's perspective. Like there was that guy, I can't remember his name, and there was like a law student, something. She was like, he stalked 3 women one night.
I can go. I'll just go check on that.
Yeah, sorry.
He stalked like multiple or like 3 women in like the same night, and like killed the last one just like yards from her house. And I know it's not like no guy is like if you came up to me, I wouldn't go, this man's gonna murder me, but I'd be like, I don't know you, I'm going to just keep my drink clear, because you don't want to be that person that happens to you. You don't want.
Oh, I didn't realise an hour and 5.
Okay.
Like you don't want to be that person that gets spiked. So it's not like anything like for me and my friends. I don't know. I don't think it is for any girls I've spoken to, but it's not like, oh, you're coming up to me and I feel it's just like, oh, there is a potential something happening here. I mean, I remember I know someone who, she was at uni in Portsmouth, and she got like spiked by even by the bartender, and she was like, and it was at Prism, I think, in Portsmouth. Jesus, and she was like, I was just all over the place, and she was like, I had only drank like 1 Jaeger bomb and something else. She had like 2 drinks. Jesus. And she was like, I was all over the place. It was awful.
I mean, like, obviously, like this is just to lead on from your point of when you're with your mates, you feel more comfortable talking to a stranger.
Well, I guess because you got that fallback, like you think,
like the protection. I guess.
It's like yeah.
Because we had a system a while ago. We actually should bring this back because I thought it was really good.
What system is it?
Do you not remember it?
No.
If we was ever in an uncomfortable situation, I don't think you was informed about this.
Probably not.
You might. I think you was back in Saudi at the time.
Yeah, but tell us.
So we had a system, and like this is like a group of all guys as well. So it was like, let's say me and you having a chat. Like we don't really know each other. I've gone up to you, and you've come up to me and started having a chat. And I think, right, I'm starting to feel a bit creeped out here. Like it was like, I think it was like a tap on the leg like that or something on your own leg, and then someone would have to come over and get you out of that situation.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
It like, that's with a group of guys.
Yeah, I can't imagine what like girls would come up with in that kind of situation.
There have been, I mean, I'm trying to think. There definitely has been that kind of thing, like, signal.
I've seen, like, the one thing I saw was, like, the angel show, wasn't it?
Yeah, so this is a thing which, like, if you go I don't know about guys, but if you're in, like, a pub or a club and you're a girl, you go into, this is what I find really weird. This was a trend on TikTok, and they were, like, people were just making, like, a POV trend over, like...
POV, you asked for an angel shot.
I'm like, that's just ruined the whole thing, because obviously it's meant to be, like, something subtle. You'd be like, oh, can I have an angel shot? If you go into, like, the club or... the club bathroom or like a pub bathroom, I don't know what it is on men's, but on the door, like you go and you close the cubicle, it will be like, oh, is someone making you feel uncomfortable? If so, go
I think it's the same thing.
We don't have that. If you go to the SU bar,
no,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's on the SU bar though.
No, because most of the time it's men making women feel uncomfortable. That's sort of the whole thing of it.
And also,
but you can, as a man, you can ask for an angel shot.
Also, if they were the same posters in the men's and women's bathroom,
it would ruin it.
Yeah,
it would ruin it. It's like, well,
obviously, like generally speaking, it is more men than women doing
it.
But
it is.
I think,
also, something that I find really weird, and this I know girls do it too, but as a girl, and be like going like to the club a few times with my girlfriends, it's like when a guy comes up to you and starts dancing really close behind you, and it's like
I was in a club and I see, because it's like I don't really go clubbing very often.
No, neither.
And I see, and you just see this guy, and he's just 1 minute he's over there with one girl, the next he's over there with another.
Literally.
You think?
It's like fishing, basically.
Things like then my friends would be like, just like grab the hand like and do like a little dance and just pull them away and be like, okay, come over here, because it's just we'll look at each other, like you look behind you, feel something, and then you're like, what the hell do I do?
It happened to what's her name? Our technician's partner. So like a guy tried to hit on her. Tried to, and
I think.
but
I
she was
think he
like,
told
no,
me.
I'm with
Yeah.
him.
Fucking hell.
But he had a great reaction to it. He didn't get involved.
Fair
It
enough.
is the best reaction. Just don't. It's like if his girlfriend's like, no, like I'm not interested. Da, da, da. If he then keeps persisting, that's when he might have to then step
Yeah.
in. But he was just like, look, because you see all these like going back to the Andrew Tate thing, all this alpha male bullshit of thing. Like they would all like people have fights over nothing. I've never once gone out. Well, tell a lie. I've never like really gone out and wanted to have a fight. It doesn't.
Like, yeah, like.
Who cares?
Mm.
Like if some guy come up to me in the pub or whatever and said, "Oh mate, you look like a bit of a prick." All right, mate.
Do you know,
Thanks.
I just wouldn't deep it.
Yeah, who
Be
cares?
Like, oh my god, like I'm never gonna
cares?
see you again, and if I do, it's not gonna impact my life.
I've seen that a lot
Oh.
recently. I don't know what it is. Maybe just like a generational thing, or just because
I think it is.
everybody's becoming more woke. Everybody takes things like.
Everything takes it seriously.
Everybody takes it like it takes any common personally nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
I don't get it because, as you know, you say anything to me, well, all right, mate. Like I said, like like if you you walk past me and you say, oh, or there's in a pub or whatever, like I said, and you said something, I'd probably say like something back, but I wouldn't escalate it.
Yeah.
Like,
I actually just don't think I would. Like if someone just insulted me, I'd just be like, just get over it. All right then.
Yeah,
Like,
just give them the
it's-
stare of like, what the fuck are you?
Like, okay.
I think it depends on the situation. Like the guy in Weatherspoons.
Yes.
Oh my god, you just reminded me of something that happened. Sorry.
Yeah, but we'll get to your one. But there was a guy.
Yeah, so I'm not part of your story. I just
That's
reacted
right,
to
that's
it.
There's a guy in. Yeah, I was like, hang on, do you know this guy as well? But this he was like completely monged out of his face.
Oh, but he was,
Like I
he
mean,
was
like he
cloud
was
nine.
on his own in Weatherspoons, and I mean he was high as a kite.
Yeah.
He was either really drunk or
You know,
high.
he was really
Yeah,
drunk.
I
yeah.
thought that.
He was drunk. He didn't have any like still he was on drugs. He was really drunk.
But so it's me, him, and two of our friends. We're all sat in a booth, and I think we're just having a chat.
We were just having a chat, and one of the people from our school came around like.
Yeah, and we just had a chat with them,
Yeah.
and then like 10 minutes later, this guy peeps over. I think, all right, so like we start talking to him like a couple of minutes, but then we're like, all right, mate, look, thing. So he pops his head back down, pops his head back up,
Yeah. Then he like. Yeah,
and I'm like, all right. So so the booth is two friends there, me and you are here,
No,
right?
you and Adam.
No, yeah, it was me and Adam. So yeah, we mentioned his
Yeah,
name, bro. So it's me and Adam are here, and you were there, Sav was there, and so like I'm sat where this guy is popping his head over.
Mm-hmm.
So he keeps doing it. I think, okay, it's getting a bit annoying now, right? So he keeps doing it, and then he starts putting his hand
Yeah.
like round the back. So it's
yeah,
like
he
if I
tries to
lean
touch
back,
it.
my head was resting on his hand.
Yeah.
I said, look, mate, look, can you go away now? I said, like, you're starting to get my nerves here, pal. He's like, oh, no. And he kept doing it. So, mate, just fuck off. Like I've asked you once now. Like, you're now being annoying. And the bouncers come over.
Oh my fucking god. Yeah.
And have you ever been to Weatherspoons in Colchester?
I haven't been to one in Colchester, no.
The bouncers now are fucking awful. They just
Fucking
they
shit
just
houses.
don't do their job. Like
Yeah.
they just sort of walk around and go sort of mope around. So so he's come over and I've gone, mate, like can you get rid of him or just move him or something because he's starting to really aggravate us. I said like because a lot of people would have probably just got up and dragged him out or whatever,
Yeah.
but we was like, no, we'll go to the bouncers. And so he goes, okay, and starts to walk off. I fucking lost it. I saw red. I almost, but then I realised because he was signalling to get his mate to come over. I was like, okay, calm. I was like, thank God. And they quickly escorted him out. But I just
It
think,
was not been a good night.
oh,
If he'd actually gets me like.
I'd been It's like because you've asked them, because they're there to ensure everyone's having a good time. And I just thought, I nearly lost it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nearly lost it.
So you said something about an experience in a pub, and it reminded me. I was in London in Soho with one of my friends.
Ooh, bit of a rough area, so it's a rough area.
We were at this pub, and this was like shortly after I turned 18, so we were like, oh, we should just get like a cheeky drink. And we were outside, and we were outside, and this guy came up to us. He was probably like 30, 35, and he wasn't flirting. It was worse than that. It was
What's worse than flirted?
Well,
Fair
let's
enough.
find out. Let's find
he
out.
must have heard me because these other guys. This was in July. These other guys were like just asked us like, oh, do you guys pronounce it H or H? We're just trying to like settle a debate, and so we just responded to that. And he was near. He must have just like heard us say something, and he came up to me and he was like, do you really have such. You have a conversation and you walk away from it like, what the fuck has just happened? And then you just like kind of forget. It was one of those situations. And I just remember the stuff he came out with. I was like, he started coming out saying men were raped more than women. Saying a lot.
What? Just dropping it?
No, like this was in conversation, but he was just really going to extremes for things. Because then he started talking about cancel culture, and this just reminded me because at the end of it, so he looked at me like this, and he had like a cigarette like this, and he was like, I'd love to unpick your mind.
Oh.
And oh my god, I can't actually fathom it. It was just this really weird thing. And the entire walk back from where the tube station was, I think it was probably just like a 10-minute walk. Me and my friend were like, what the fuck has just happened? Like, it was just so weird.
Jesus Christ.
People are creepy.
Do you know what the funny thing? So I know that we discussed like feminism, and the thing that I found now is if I'm talking to a man that is completely like opposing everything I say when it comes to feminism, I have to compliment a man that I know. And I'll be like, oh yeah, this one man that I know, because then if I compliment a man that I know, they'll listen to me more.
Really?
It's a really weird tactic, but it works.
Fair
like if he's like, because then you know how some people go down like feminism is a man hate, which it's not, but some people really go down there. So if I'm like, oh yeah, like I know this amazing male podcaster, like hi them, they'll be like, oh, you complimented a man, let me listen more.
Oh, there's two of us.
But
yeah.
No, fair enough.
It was so
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
just thought I'd drop that in.
Well, I think this is a good time to end it. But
Yeah, with a good discussion.
thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe and join us next time when we have a new special guest, hopefully, or it just might be me and him fucking about.
Yeah. Again.
Have a good one.
In a bit.
Bye.